All right, hey everybody. For whoever's on board so far, let me see. All right, okay, we got 12 and growing on the concurrent viewers. Hey everybody. Oh, hey, all right, man, everybody's already kicking in. Hey everybody. Yeah, this doubles as roll, right, for everybody. Okay. Also, by the way, I have massaged the settings so that there should be a much shorter delay. Last time we were operating with like a 20-second delay. And I think that we are now we should be operating with a much shorter delay. So, okay, everybody, what are we up to? 17. I don't even know what the critical mass is here, but we are. Ooh, hang on a second. I was just checking on my telephonic device to see if I could see better. The problem is window management is my big problem. I need to pull up an extra monitor so I can kind of just see all the chunks of everything going on. I just kind of run out of space on my laptop, and then I'm projecting to the big screen. So I also did a little bit of a massage on the settings so that we should have a more of an accurate window size for sort of regular traditional YouTube channel dimensions right now, the right kind of aspect ratio. So so we probably ought to give it, what are we at, 18? Give it a couple more minutes. Dates, but is anybody, oh great, hang on a second. Great. My OBS just disconnected and reconnected. Yeah, I don't know, man. What? How's that working? Signal-wise, everybody, is this working okay on signal and resolution and everything else to this point? Everybody, and remember, all I've got, all I've got for eye contact is the chat window. So, yeah, I just had this thing where it's like OBS disconnected. I have tried to pause all the other network traffic going out right now in order to get things smoothed out. So, anyway, all right, working great. And then the other burning question is going to be what the delay is. I think it's a lot better. So I'm going to do a thing, okay? Here's what I want to do. I'm going to do a thing where I'm going to stick my hand up like this, and as soon as somebody get ready with a thing like just something that says got it or saw it or something, get it kind of ready to press enter. And then when I put the hand up and say go, then I just want you to press enter, which should kick back fairly quickly. And then I want to just test the latency from what you're seeing on your side. Okay, everybody ready for this? Give me, if everybody, did you just catch all that? That makes sense. Okay, are you ready? Get ready to just type something, to say something like, I saw it, your hand, something like that, okay? Okay, you ready? Go. Um, I don't know if Chris was the only one who was responding to that. That's still like 10 or 15 cents, or 15 cents, seconds. That's still in the 15, 20-second latency. I don't know. I don't know. There was a setting, it turns out, in OBS that was uh, that actually set a default latency, and I suppose that just to allow some buffering. But I think if you take the buffering down, then what happens is you're a little more subject to some stuttering, but you've got more of an interactive kind of a play. So that's what we're kind of going for. Okay, I wanted to first thing that I forgot last time. Okay, hang on. My notes. Okay, I forgot last time to talk about the in-class activity. You ready for this? I think you're going to like it. So last time we did state machines, I don't even remember, and it was freaking last week. But we were doing state diagrams, right, in UML. And state diagrams are like so useful, so important, so valuable. And that's right, Stephen, it is a give and take. But the in-class activity, here's what I want you to do. When we've done this in the past, when we've been in the CS building on campus, we would actually like pile out a class, and here's what you're going to do. Almost every possible sort of vending machine, I don't mean just like, candy machine, pop machine. I just mean any machine that vends, it vends, right? Because vend is a verb in our language, we don't realize, but it is. And anything that vends, it can be gas pump, can be a candy machine, pop machine, whatever machine. But something that you have to walk up to this thing, present it could be the parking system, right? And that's part of what I want you to think about. It doesn't have to be a parking system. But what I want you to do, I will document this, by the way, in the under the in-class assignments. And I don't know for sure, just making a note to myself, I don't know for sure, I'm just going to check if it's already there in some form that I can use. But here's what I want you to do while I'm looking this thing up. I want you to go find something near you. Now I understand if you're in like a quarantine, like a true quarantine situation, please let me know. I would very much appreciate it, because it'll obviously get in the way of this assignment, which, okay. This thing, I'm going to just edit this like right now. This thing is going to be due, let's give it a few days. So it's technically in-class assignment number 6, and it's entitled State Machines and Vending Machines. And I'm just going to do a quick edit. So back when we did this before, I would do this as a group project. You take off in a group, and so you need to not take off in a group. And so what this is going to say is that you have to descend upon a vending machine of your choosing, okay? I don't care what it is. It could be a gas pump, could be a pop machine, could be a candy machine, could be anything, so long as it's like, a machine that you have to approach kind of anonymously, bring your credit card, do whatever, okay? The second one is figure out the state machine that describes the customer experience at the vending machine, okay? And be as precise as possible. Number 3, draw a sketch of the state machine. It can be a rough drawing. It does not have to be like pure UML, okay? And then you're going to submit a picture of your rough draft and a picture of any other notes or byproducts of the activity. And really, it's just, there are no real style points on this thing. And then I'm going to make this thing due Friday? let's make the thing due Friday the 3rd at midnight. And then I'm going to publish this right now, so we've got this. Okay, so that's April 3rd, and assigned to everybody, and yeah, okay. I am saving and publishing. So this in-class assignment, which is number 6, is now actually posted on Canvas. Okay, so you can go see this. Okay. So what I want you to do, here's the experience that I want you to try to think about. Hang on, let me get again, I need more monitor space here besides my big puppy right there that you can see already. Okay, so what you're going to do is I just want you to think about state machines in the world around us, right? That these things really do get used. And so when you approach a pop machine or a candy machine or whatever, I want your life to be tortured like mine. I want you to think about if you're really going to do this thing well, you start beating on it, because how do you actually know what the state machine is, right? Unless you've got to start trying it. Okay, my other deal is, I've made this deal. Nobody's taken me up on it, but I really do want to make this offer, okay? Which is, if in order to do this test, you have to buy like 5 cans of pop, you know what I mean? And you're starving students for the most part. I'll Venmo you any out of pocket. If you go to a parking, I mean, unless it gets crazy. If it's $100, you're on your own, okay? But or if you had to fill your gas up anyway, you know what I mean? Put a little gas, stop it, restart it, you know what I mean? If you have to get your own gas, I'm not going to buy your tank of gas. But if it's one of those things where you have to buy some pop or whatever, I'll comp you, okay? You let me know and I'll Venmo you what you spend. Just, I don't want this to create a financial burden on anybody. But if you're like, I would have bought the pop anyway. But just understand that to really understand a state machine like this, like a vending machine, you realize that there's it's not just, present your payment, make your selection, and then the machine gives you your pop. Okay. That's not how this thing works. The reality is that there's all kinds of ways to kind of screw the thing up, right? For example, what if you do the thing and there's no connection? What if you do it and you press something and there's no pop? Now, granted, some of these are hard to fully figure out, right? Obviously, if you want to go up to the 5th floor in the CS building, there's some pop machines there that never have any friggin' pop. I don't know why those machines are even there, okay? But that's one where you can, definitely, test it. So in other words, to move through these states, you realize that some of the states are evolutionary states. I mean, you're evolving to some destination. I do the payment, and then it's got to go into this validating payment state. Well, that validating payment state, maybe the system's going to decline your card, or it's just busy, right? It doesn't get through, or you try to do it not with a card, but with cash, right? Or if it's it wants exact change. There's one vending machine. Anyway, there's a number of vending machines in the CS building, and it's just whatever. These things are $1.45 or something. Whatever the thing is for the thing I like to get. And you're you got to be freaking kidding me. When you try to go cash, you're well, I got a $5 bill. It's it says, it literally goes, accepts $1 bills, $5 bills, right? So you're hey, great, I got a $5 bill. And then it's exact change, please. You're it's 2020. Nobody is walking around, for the most part, with 45 cents in exact change, plus $1 just in their pocket. No one's carrying around pocket wads of coinage, It's not a thing. Not these days. Not in 2020. So anyway, so if you do this thing right, you're testing to see what happens. For example, Remember we talked about, in some of the different diagrams, we've talked about concurrency, right? The ability to have, we did that with state diagrams, right? The sort of like the sub thing, like you move over here and then there's these other, states you can move through. And there's also kind of like what we might think of as concurrent states, okay? Where you click on something, you click on something, you push a button, do your whatever, and two state machines are triggered, a separate state machine. So this one's maybe working on payment while this one's checking inventory or whatever. The whole operation does not have to be sequential. You know what I mean? It might actually be essentially parallel. You trigger the launch of independent state machines, and then when they each arrive at some, common concurrent, this, by the way, is a common concurrent point, then, you resume, you take off again. And so one of the things that this will do to corrupt you is you'll find yourself at a gas station pumping gas and asking yourself, what if I just start pushing buttons, right? And it turns out that if the thing's properly designed, it has no impact at all. It's like, I don't even see those buttons. I'm not even looking at those buttons right now. Like, you can knock yourself out, but I'm not in a state to look at that input. There are other things that you can do sort of concurrently, that you can, like, flip the thing, put the nozzle thing in, like, can you select the gas before you pay? Is it, are these sort of, does it kind of cue those ideas up so they're waiting? Then when the state machine gets to the part where it's like, okay, read whatever, if have you done something, and it's just sitting there kind of poised and ready, like buffered? Or is it one of those things where everything's lost until the moment that you're ready to hear it, right? We sometimes call that edge triggered versus level triggered, okay? It's sort of an idea that comes from electronics, but the idea is in voltage, right? You've got this voltage that's high, and then it drops and it kind of comes up, etc., right? Well, edge triggered says I'm low, and you've got to now be watching. Like, this is the watcher guy, and it's like I'm watching, and now I see, the signal rise. So I saw the edge, I saw the transition, and that if I'm edge triggered, if I don't see the transition, it's just gone. Okay, I don't. It's the edge that I detect, not the levels, right? Whereas level triggered says, here's my watcher again, kind of centered, and then way back over here, it rose, and the watcher never saw the transition, but now it's just high, and now it detects that it's high, and it's like, I don't care when that happened, as long as it's high now, right? And that's kind of a difference. So that's kind of a deep electronics idea of edge versus level trigger. But there's a similar thing in state machines, okay? Really, because I can basically say, I've got to be in the state, and now I'm watching. Now you can push the button, and I'll see it. But if you push the button earlier, it's almost like, push the button, it went away, and then I'm finally ready, and I don't know that you pushed that button. It's lost to me. Does that make sense? And that's kind of where that edge-triggered, level-triggered electronics or, kind of hardware signal thing, relates. And anyway, and it relates to state machines. Because, again, and the difference is kind of like this. I'm in this state. The edge-triggered would go like this. I'm in a certain state. This is a state, okay? I'm in this certain state. And now that I'm in this state, I'm watching for the event. If the event happened earlier, I never see it. It's lost to me, okay? But I'm now in that state. I'm waiting. Boom, they push the button and I see it, okay? That's in a situation where there's no buffering on the button. But if instead it was like, I'm not even in that state, right? State goes away. And and the user just goes doink, pushes the button, and it's like buffered. And then later on, I evolve to the state where I need, here's my state again. I evolve to the state in which I need that information. Then what's going to happen is there's an action in the state, and the action's going to be something like, um, read, read the button state, or read the button. And if the button was already pressed and there was a value just sort of sitting there, then I read it. That's level triggered. It happened earlier, and it's just there for as long as this transaction goes on. I read what was there. Or, it's not there, then I just sit there waiting and I just periodically read. I just keep checking to see if the level has, if there's something that's been received. I hope that makes sense. Erica, thank you. And by the way, I'm really curious, Erica. So Erica just said that explains edge triggered better than I've ever heard it before. Makes so much more sense. I'm just curious, Erica, what context? I mean, I get it from my long ago days with embedded systems, where you would like strap an oscilloscope on to hardware and, and fixing. I don't know if I ever told you about, being at HP in 1988, and me and my work buddy were trying to debug why it was that a printer would just, and it was a 4-function controller card that ran on the original HP Vectra Classic, and but it had a bug in the hardware. There was a bug, and essentially there was an inverter that shouldn't have been there. So the signal was supposed to, at some point flip high. And anyway, it would just lose like, I don't even remember, 1 out of every 30, 40 characters or bytes, going out this 4-function controller card out to a printer. So your printer, and you would never know it. The printer wouldn't know it. It would just miss. Like, just imagine just every so many characters is just missing, And it turned out it had to do with this whole edge triggered, level triggered. That was my first experience with that. I was 28, and that kind of sunk kind of deep, for me. But anyway, Eric, I'm just curious, in terms of like coursework, where that shows up as an issue. Okay, electronics classes. Okay, cool. Anyway, but the concept, I think the concept to me really does show up in state machines. Again, am I waiting for an event? Or am I performing an action? If it's level triggered, I'm going to wait. I'm going to perform an action to gather what I need. And if it's there, I got it. How long it's been there, I don't care. And if it's an event, I'm just in the state. And when the event happens, which is boom, the edge, the edge hits, or the signal rises, and I detect that rise, then that's my trigger. So either way can work. It also illustrates. I don't think I've used this example before, but I do think it's a really decent illustration of why it is that in some instances, the notion that you're in a certain state and you perform an action makes sense. And, as opposed to, I'm in a state, I don't perform an action, but I wait for an event. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. So your job is to go find a vending machine. Okay. You go find a vending machine and you document that bad boy. I would recommend that you record, just video record, get your phone and just record what you're doing. That becomes your double check, your check back, right? Anyway, that's it really. So by the way, so that's the in-class assignment. We'll have it due Friday. And let me know, is Friday okay? Is Friday okay? By the way, I'm looking in my OBS again, and it's showing an 11-second delay, but I don't think I configured that delay. I think it's somehow just innate or something. I'm not sure. Okay. By the way, can I make a movie recommendation? Saturday night, I watched Contagion. I think I told you that I am watching sort of apocalyptic viral movies, apocalyptic movies about viruses. Okay, the first one that I watched was rewatched was World War Z, Brad Pitt, zombies. World War Z reminds me that it can always be worse. Contagion was one that I just never could really bring myself. It's like, oh, that's a little dark, like, oh, this is fun. This is a fun movie. But I watched it on the weekend because it was relevant. I would be really curious about your recommendations. And by the way, so Steven just said, you're kind of far from any vending machines. Play it by ear. Let me know. Okay. Apparently. Well, I'll tell you what I've got on my list because I have a bunch of Post-it notes right here on my desk thing. But here's what's on my list. Okay. Having watched World War Z and then Contagion. By the way, Contagion was a little prophetic. I mean, I thought it kind of blew me away a bit with, there was like a lot of stuff that we were hearing, in the press briefings, like right now, social distancing and don't touch. I know I'm touching my face. I'm using the Joe Biden defense, which is I'm kind of quarantined at home. I'm going to wash my hands before I go out. And you know how bloody hard it is to not touch your face. Oh my gosh, it's hard. Even if you try. But, okay, Shaun of the Dead. I have not watched. Okay. Wait. Tiger King, that's not about viruses, is it, Dustin? I mean, I saw Tiger King. Okay, wait. Erica and Dustin, are you like in collusion on this? I saw Tiger King. But is it germane? Is it apocalyptic? Is it, kind of post-apocalyptic? That's my curiosity. But here's what's on my list, okay? And I will put Shaun of the Dead. I didn't think of it, but I've never seen it. I'm adding it right now. Here's what's on my list. I Am Legend. Will Smith. That's 7.2 stars on IMDb. That's my. Oh yeah, Pandemic. Pandemic on Netflix. No, I did not see that one. I think I just had like really crap reviews about that. Here's the other ones. The Omega Man, Charlton Heston. It was actually the original movie, basically based on the same story as I Am Legend. And the original working title of that movie was I Am Legend. So that's the Omega Man. I saw that when I was a kid. 6.5 stars. The Hot Zone, 7.3 stars. I don't know a ton about it. The Stand, Stephen King. That book, by the way, is now selling out. There's a run on toilet paper, Tylenol, thermometers, paper towels, and The Stand. Okay, what else? The Andromeda Strain. The Andromeda Strain, I believe, was a novel originally by Michael Crichton. Wait. Okay, Congo. Did anyone seen or read? There was a book by Michael Crichton called Congo. I think it might have been also about a virus that starts in Africa. I'm not sure. Outbreak. Wonder what that one's about. 12 Monkeys. Brad Pitt again. And I have seen the Andromeda Strain long ago and the Omega Man and I Am Legend, but they're on my rewatch list. Anyway, if you have recommendations, it is my way to wallow. As long as you're in quarantine, you may as well wallow in post-apocalyptic viral infection. World War Z book, The Stand. Yeah, I need to read The Stand. Turbo Kid. Dahlia. Okay. I'm writing these down. And I really appreciate the recommendations. And for anybody else who's, okay, CJ, 12 Monkeys, it's 8 stars on IMDb, which frankly for a movie is remarkable. It's remarkable high score on IMDb for a movie. You just don't see scores like that. 28, okay, John and Tim, is it 28 weeks or days? 28 somethings later? Okay. I'm going to research these, but I'm trying to do like one a week. So I got 7 on my list. I got another 4 right here. So I got 11 weeks. I got 11 weeks of pandemic self-isolation viewing pleasure. Okay. Any others? Any others? I'm just, I do need to read The Stand. I've only read one book by Stephen King, and it was a book on writing. I think I tried a couple times. Okay, yeah, I'm just scanning back on. Okay, yeah. And if you have any other recommendations, oh, there's two separate movies, 28 Weeks Later and 28 Months Later. Okay, fantastic. All right, thank you. Thank you. This is why I love you guys so much. The recommendations are fantastic. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah. So let's talk about a couple other things. Let's talk about a little more stuff. I really do hope everyone's doing okay. And you're not just getting completely bored out of your skull. I hope you are mostly just trying to, stay off the streets a little bit. It's a little tough, but, like I told you about my buddy, and did I tell you about my friend in Italy who's up in Bergamo, whose whole family is down with it right now? And it's not good, not good. So, okay. What I wanted to do, and so my next question is, did we finish the state diagram discussion? Yeah, we did. And we did not talk about the Goff state pattern. Sorry, I'm just looking back at the slides. I'm going to come back and I'm going to make a note to myself again to do a better prep on the Goff state pattern. My one slide is not adequate, nor is my actual fluency just off the top of my head relative to that. So I'm not really prepped for that. So therefore, I am going to push off on till Wednesday. Allegedly, I'll have that ready by Wednesday. But by then, at least you'll have, I think, a deeper appreciation of what the state diagrams thing is really trying to do for you. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to hit a little more design of everyday things. Okay, well, actually, we have a choice, okay? We can do a little bit of design of everyday things. I wanted to get through, the rest of the stuff that I have there. The next one that shows up is in our UML stuff is activity diagrams, and then communication diagrams. Activity diagrams, it's a little. I'm just checking right now to see, like, how big it is. It's like 20 some slides, so there's some good beefiness on activity. Then we've got communication diagrams, and that's a lot shorter with like 5 slides. So really we got activity diagrams, communication diagrams, and some design of everyday things. And I kind of want to just know right now, what do you want to do? Kyle, brutal, man. Man, for those of you that are home and trying to manage the kid factor, man, my hat is off to you. So, I mean, I had the kids, I did that thing, but, anyway, what do you want to do? My default right now is to do a little bit of design of everyday things. Yeah, okay, Erica. We got one vote from Erica. Erica's vote carries a lot of weight if nobody else ponies up. And then we'll pivot over to whatever's next sequentially. I don't even know what it is. Activity diagrams are next sequentially. And then, the thing too that's kind of cool about all this, we are the makers of our own fate and destiny here. So we can do whatever the heck we feel like, okay? Okay, McKay. Okay, McKay. Because McKay says yes, we're all green light go. Okay, so that no offense everybody else, but yeah, I'm giving all the weight to McKay here. Okay. Um, by the way, isn't that a cool family portrait? That is my family. I am this guy right here. This appears to be Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. And this guy appears to be a leprechaun. I'm not sure what he's doing there. That's tough. Anyway, this is a number of years back. We now have, let me see where we're at. But it basically goes like a bunch of more spouses and 11 more grandkids since this picture was taken. I don't remember when it was. I just don't remember. 10 years ago? 10 years. It's been a busy 10 years. Anyway, just I hope you like that picture. Okay, let's go design of everyday things. All right. Wait, where am I? Stephen, what do you mean by where am I? Lehigh, Utah. Oh, did it go dark? Did it stutter? Are we okay? I just looked over and I saw my YouTube live thing with kind of the spinning thing, and I didn't know if the signal just cut for a minute. Don't know. Let me know if there was like a weird glitch on that. Okay, design of everyday things. Here's where we are at. I'm just double checking all that. Okay, we did number B. I'm going to do number C. Yeah. Okay, all right. There's so many, we could spend forever just talking about these. Oh, where am I in the picture? I'm dead center, right here. The large man with the hand up. If you can see the little arrow, my little cursor. That's me. Okay. All right. Okay, Steve. Thanks for the confusion. Let's do this thing. Let's do some design of everyday things. All right. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, man. Let's do this thing. I think we did this one. Come on. Wait. Not that one. This one. Did we do this one? I think we did. And this is just such a classic. This is so classic because this is just the classic mistake of use cases, of a failure to get outside yourself and see it from the other perspective, right? And I'll be honest, it's so hard when you're developers, right? You're technical. You can't conceptualize, why somebody would do that, And I remember just some of the earlier days of my, building software, and just either me or just you'd watch, in introducing this idea, that you're just like, yeah, so the users are, I remember this once, I don't remember what company or what the environment was. I just remember it's like, yeah, the users are like doing this one thing. And I just remember this engineer just going, what are they doing that for? That's stupid. Like, yeah, well, guess what? Yeah, that's stupid. And so you have to assume that the users are just sort of evil or uninformed or non-tech savvy or whatever, and that they're just going to do crazy stuff. But it's also segueing back to state machines, the notion that you're in this position. State machines are not just about when a good thing happens or a proper thing. It's also when a busted, stupid thing happens, okay? If you can't get outside yourself and see all the avenues available from the user's perspective. So I just love this one. Parent's perspective, and then there's baby's perspective with all the little doll bung holes. Very cute. Okay. So this was one. Did I? I don't think I showed you this one. Did I? I'm having some flashbacks, but I've showed these in different settings. So this was from one of our university websites. When you're faculty, you get this view. This is a screen grab. Let me know if you've seen this one before. I don't think I've been through these slides, but I don't want to be redundant if I have. So here's the idea. This is the window you get. I just did a screenshot straight off the window, and there's my 3450, right? Right in here. I hope you can see my cursor. So just look at this again. There's a classic mistake in use case design. You saw this one? Okay. Did we talk about it? The course reference number, CRN, please enter the CRN. And then there's CRN, and then it's a drop down. Okay, all right. I believe you all. This is just horrific. It's horrific in every imaginable way, okay? Because also when you click on this right here, it doesn't let you enter it. It gives you information about it. Okay, let's try this one. Did we do this one? Did we do all of these? And then I got to jump to another one. Okay, tell me if we've done this one. I know we did because we talked about my father-in-law. Did we do this one? I think I've got an 11-second delay on this thing. We did see it, Chris? Okay. The use case, 85-year-old man. Okay, what about this one? Sorry, the lag is horrible. I'm sorry. Give me some updates here on whether you saw the. Okay, what about the ordering the nuggets? Default order image. Did we do that one? Okay. All right. Okay. So did we? I don't think we did this one. Okay. I don't think so. And I want to just see how many more slides here so I can see how dumb I am. Oh, no. I think we did do this one because we did fat forever, right? Okay, hang on. Let me bring this back. Okay. And did we do this one? This how to pay? Okay. I don't think we did all of them though. Okay. But this one here, okay, I remember we talked about that. And I know we talked about fat forever, right? Which I think this is trying to say fit forever. Did we do this one? Yes to the nuggets. Thank you. How about to bread? Did we do bread? Tim, the nuggets don't need sauce, man. And the trash can. Did we do this one? Okay, did we do the bread? Okay. But I don't think we did this one, did we? Tell me if we did the Shiatsu back massager. Because I just happen to be, wow, I just suck on my knowing what I've done before. Okay, I don't think we did the Shiatsu back massager. By the way, oh, yes to bread, thank you. The plain old yes aren't too helpful because there's enough delay I lose context. Okay. Did we do Shiatsu back massager? Because this is actually it right here. The one that's in the picture, this is the greatest, not the massager. Thank you, Tim. This bad boy right here, okay? I want to just talk about this because here's my thing, right? So the Shiatsu back massager, this could not be possible if we weren't doing the distance learning thing now, right? And the isolation and everything online. Okay. I want to show you this thing. And okay, I want to just say this. I'm just going to snuggle. I've already snuggled before with Hubert, who lives here on my desk. But today I'm going to snuggle with my Shiatsu back massager, okay? The greatest gift ever given to me. Besides the fact that I just have such freaking back pain all the time. So this is the gift, man. This is a gift. So here's the deal. It's got a power plug, fine. Okay. The power plug, by the way, is hanging off the bottom. Also, I just want to point out a couple of things. When you look at this thing, you know, it kind of looks like it. You pretty much know it's not going to go like that, right? I think you got to know that. So you kind of know it's either this way or this way. But you understand there's no instructions, no words. The only word, okay, sorry, there are words. The one word is the brand, which is True Medic. Just very subtle. If you want to go looking for it, you can find it. True Medic. And then back here, there's a button. And the button goes, sorry, I'm trying to, my visual feedback is mirror image, so it's like I'm a spaz. Okay. You see it? On, off. That's it. That's the whole thing. On, off. Now, what about which way's up, right? Which way is up? Well, it turns out I don't even know exactly why. No, I do know why. I want you to look at this. Okay. Look at it. And by the way, I keep interrupting myself. It's so unlike me to interrupt myself. I am really liberal with bad-mouthing a piece of crap product. I am. You know this about me, right? And of course, it's my opinion. Your mileage may vary, right? I'm not right about everything. I know I can't be. I just don't know which ones I'm wrong about. But I know I'm not right about everything. There must be some things I'm just totally missing. But when I stumble upon a good one, an amazing thing, you got to praise it. You got to give it its due. Okay, now you pick this thing up, right? And you got the handle. Which side is up? Which side is up? You got two choices. Okay? Now, you got I'm going to give you two clues. One is that the power cord's down here, which naturally feels like this ought to be sitting down, right? Doesn't that feel like that? But there's one other subtle clue. If you look at it, if I can get this thing centered, it's so subtle you almost can't even tell. But which side what's the dimensions of this textured material here, okay? If you measure this thing, which I'm actually going to do, if I can find a measuring device. I had one here somewhere on my desk. Come on. Oh, my desk is a mess. But I'll tell you what I can do. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to use this just as a point of reference, okay? This is just an envelope, it just happened to be hanging around here, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the bottom, if you can see this, and I'm going to go corner to corner, and it's actually almost, you see it? It's almost perfect. The dimension here from there to there is almost exactly the same. Now, this is probably going to be exactly the same on the top, and I'm going to be an idiot, but I'm willing to take that chance, okay? Because that's how I roll. But so I drop over here and go to the top. Now, I want you to just notice, I don't know if you can see that clear enough. I'm in the same location over there, and I am this far past. I'm about, what's the dimension? I mean, seriously, if I had just a tape measure. The difference is basically two of these highlighters. If I went like this, that's the difference between the top and the bottom, okay? It is so subtle. I mean, I don't know what that is. It's probably 1/4 of an inch, maybe, difference between the top and the bottom, okay? And when you look at it on the back, you get a similar thing, okay? You can sort of see, if you measure it, it is slightly bigger on the bottom than on the top. But the brain doesn't, it's that whole gestalt thing we talked about, right? The brain perceives the pattern. The brain perceives that this thing goes, that's the bottom end, okay? Also, when you put it this way, it feels a little unstable, and when you put it this way, it feels more stable. So there are three indicators. A quarter of an inch difference. You understand that there was some freaking genius at this company who decided that if they put this thing, Dahlia, just keep nodding, I can see you. Not really. Who decided to make the top that much smaller than the bottom. Somebody was a freaking genius. That's number one. Power cord down and a slight weight feel. And the truth is, I've never even questioned for a moment, for an instant. I've never questioned for an instant which way to set this thing up, even though at a glance it looks symmetrical. That is freaking brilliant design. That's like the power of a pixel. There are situations when you're doing software design that spending 10 minutes to get something just 2 pixels over, 1 pixel down, it does things. It creates subtle messaging, subtle intuition. Okay, as I said, there's an on-off button. Okay, now let me just do the live demo, which I couldn't do. There we go. I push the button once. That's kind of cool. And then it's like, oh, I want to, and let's say I don't know anything at all about this device, right? I don't know anything about it. I'm trying it for the first time. I've got green. What does green mean? On. I mean, it kind of means on. It's also a slightly cooler color. And I'm like, well, I want to turn it off. I push the button again. And the motion stays and the lights turn red. And then I can push it one more time. Boom. Instantly, this device, how much do I have to remember? Right? Remember this principle of design that we learned from Don Norman? That as soon as you have to, have the user remember a bunch of crap, it's as soon as the user has to remember a bunch of crap, you're just dead. Because now it's like I gotta keep part of my head, and if I don't use your dumb device often enough, I lose the fluency. Erica, yes, it is heated. It is heated. And I didn't even know that. Okay? Because what happens is, and do you see how excited I am? But when Eric said, is it heated? Do you see how the brain, you guys are across the freaking internet. And I just go, zoinky, zoinky, and you're like, wait, that's warm, isn't it? And the answer is yes. It does. It does look like a little dueling star, little lightsaber match. Okay. And then, so basically, okay. And I'm just going to do this thing because my back really does hurt. And I can also, oh yeah, now we're going. Okay. We're rocking and rolling now, man. I don't know if you can hear that, but you see me just kind of like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what's happening next. So, Erica, you need one of these. Everybody needs one of these, especially if you're an old fat man with back pain. Yes, then you need that. Anyway, and it takes a little while to warm up, and I don't know why anybody would do this any other way but with the heat, right? But do you see, again, I have bad-mouthed so many products, so many designs, so many, just bad decisions, and CJ, it was a gift. It was a Christmas gift, like 3 years ago or something. And it lives literally under my desk right here, just right down there under my desk, so that when I'm working, I can just pull it out, stuff it in my back. I hope that's not making, and by the way, doing these classes is really rough. I don't know why it's rough on my back. Because my chair is kind of a chair that wants to lean me back. So I'm kind of like holding this position with my nice chair. Okay, so for all the crappy, crazy, absurd things, that I have complained about and whined about from a design perspective, This thing here is just like a dream. It's a dream right there. That's what I'm living through right now. Wait. I am living this dream like literally as we speak. I am just living large right here with my Shiatsu back massager. But again, look at it from a design perspective. You look at that right now on that graphic, and you can see the oh so slight suggestion, of that trapezoidal shape, of that up down. Where's it at? That kind of like, that angle, those two seams right there. You can perceive it. Your brain sees it. Also, look at the top right here. You see how when it gets to the top, it takes a hard left here, and over here it kind of banks to the right. What's it do at the bottom? Straight. So at the bottom it goes joink, and at the top it goes like that. What does that tell you? I swear, I mean, whoever designed this back massager deserves like a Pulitzer, okay? The other thing is, once you shove it down into your back, the little balls, the little light up, green and red, whatever I don't know, I haven't torn the thing apart to check. I don't dare, right? I was always that kid who would tear radios and stuff apart, right? The handles, yeah. So anyway, but just look at that straight line down here, almost straight, and then when you get to the top, it bows. That shape is the shape of a seat. That's the shape of a car seat, right? All, these seats, they all have an angle at the top, a curve, that is straight at the bottom. That's, this chair that I'm sitting in goes straight at the bottom and then curves. I don't know if you can see, where am I at? There we go. You know what I mean? My chair, and at the bottom it goes straight. Anyway, I can't say enough. I've probably said too much. This thing is just absolutely brilliant because you're not even conscious of it. None of this. So this is a shiny object. This whole device is a shiny object. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. Metaphor. M for metaphor. Okay. But it's because your brain lights up, and when it's back here, and the thing on top of all that, this is amazing. The shape, and then when the actual way it feels, is the balls are the right size, the little units, little massaging units, the way they move, the whole thing just gives you like, the back rub that you just really, really wish your significant other could give to you, but, typically you never get, right? Anyway, all right. So, and then you can also, the thing will move up, like right now it's on my upper back. It no matter where you put it, all the way down to just about sitting on it, going after your lumbars. I mean, I'm telling you, this thing is an absolute dream. Okay, and I'm just going to leave it going because, hey, man, it's my office. This is one of the bennies of working from home. Anyway, look, that's my speech. The Shiatsu back massager, I cannot say enough. It's also been durable, I mean, as long as you're not like just laying on it with all your body mass, it's been reliable. It's been durable. It warms up to a nice temperature. One freaking button. One button. And I only have one complaint. The button says on off. It's actually good, better. Okay, I guess I have to stop. To me, that's not really on off. On off does not tell the tale. But it does tell you this is the on off. Keep pushing this to turn it on. Keep pushing this to turn it off. It does communicate that. I'm being a little facetious. You could get by with the little, the little logo, I'm probably making a gang symbol. The classic on off, logo. It's really all it needs. Okay, alrighty. That is one of the greatest products I have ever encountered in my life. Okay. So let's do this. Let's And seriously, as much grief as I have given to crap products, I think that it is really fair for me to take a little time to talk about why that is so amazing. And I don't know if that's making too much noise if you're hearing it, but I am working this bad boy right now. And it just feels so good. Okay. Yeah, so Jason, the lot of options, I'll have to I'll do a little research on this. I did once where I made a referral to somebody once for this back massager. The problem is that I cut the little label thing off, you know. But it's got to be this one. It's got to be. You have the pictures in this. This is the one. I'm telling you. Other Shiatsu back massagers, I can't speak to. I can't speak to any of that. Okay, CJ cannot hear my back massager, so therefore, I just realized I have a whole bunch of options now available to me. So what I want to do, we got about 10 minutes. Let's just get into the UML activity diagrams. All right, does that sound fair? I mean, we got to hit the stuff. By the way, we're gonna end early. We'll end. I want to end the semester early. I know this is publicly posted, so I don't know if I'm busted for that. But I mean, in terms of the material, the content, we're losing some of the in-class activities that we're going to take some of the time. I'm not a big fan. Like, you know, if I'm in charge of a meeting that's supposed to go an hour long, I'm not a fan of, you know, we're done with everything, so let's fill 10. If we're done, we're done. Salute. So I want to try to get out the other side and, you know, get on with whatever comes next in our lives. Okay. Activity diagrams. So we got two more kinds of diagrams. The other thing I'm going to try to do before we're out of this semester is just do a little bit more double checking on some of the Goff patterns. I'm curious about your experience with the Goff patterns, what you're going through so far, you know, what's working, what, you know, is it feeling valuable? Is it feeling like a waste of time? You know, that kind of thing. Okay, Michael said skipping around a lot on connection. Josh, you found the real thing? You found the actual massager? Josh, you got to share a link. Share a link on Amazon and we'll double check it. Okay, let's talk about activity diagrams for the remaining 10 minutes. Looking for that link, Josh. Okay. Okay, so pop quiz. If I ask you the pop quiz question, which is basically, you know, why am I torturing you with all these diagrams? What is, I'm just going to wait for a second. Why am I making you go through all these diagrams? What is the point? You can look this stuff up, right? There's no, you know, you can look it up yourself. Why are we talking about all this? Now, Josh, try the link. Try the link. I don't think it's going to be too long. Try the link, Josh. I think it's going to work. Why am I making you look at all these diagrams? It's just another segue into activity diagrams, okay? So this brand, by the way, Kyle, the brand was it was True Medic, I think, was the brand, but we'll have to do some research. Okay, so I need somebody to answer my question. Why am I making you go through all these dumb diagrams? What is it I want you to get out of it? Somebody want to give me the canonical answer, the answer that will always show up? Giving us tools. What kind of tools? What kind of tools, Michael? Chat only allows 200 characters. Sometimes, Josh, when you find an item on Amazon, if you go to the URL and then there's usually a point where the actual item number ends and then there's a bunch of search string metadata, delete all that, you can still just get the, you can still get just the item itself, the item number. Paradigms of design, yeah, absolutely. Communication tools, what else? These are good. Keep going. I'm waiting. I got all day, man. I got my back massager. I'm in no hurry all of a sudden. Language daily, the language to understand design better. Yes. A checklist. Yes. Yeah, this is it. It is just about stretching your head, giving you tools, giving you language. It's Sapir-Whorf, okay? It's the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. By having the language, you can think the thoughts. Now, you can come up with the thoughts without the language, but you can think the thoughts more readily. And so it's also a checklist. It's also, tools of communication, of a mental model to our coworkers, Michael said. Understand all the ways to look at it from a design perspective. Yes. All these things are like every feature, every feature of every diagram that exists is some design thing that you'd like to represent to somebody, somewhere, somehow. So therefore, a bunch of smart people have thought through a bunch of stuff. Let's go to school on them. Let's learn what they did, right? Okay, so I wanted to just do a quick check. Okay, right. I had a little bit of traffic. Oh, and just another reminder, everybody, let's shift off class discussions to Discord. And I'm on Discord a lot more these days, and you can hit me up, just about any time. And that's a really good way to go. Okay, so here's what activity diagrams do. So thank you for, humoring me back through the why do we care thing, okay? But activity diagrams, as the name kind of suggests, it's sort of like the behavior of our system. What are the activities? What are the things it's doing? We can use it to model, model workflow. We can model, business process, procedural logic. It's a little bit like flowcharts, okay? And flowcharts are a funny anachronism. Back in the day, flowcharts were, and by back in the day, I mean back before my day, okay? Flowcharts were like the, what's the word I'm looking for? State of the art. And the reason they were state of the art is because everybody was writing, they were building, these design systems down in hardware. They were writing in assembly language or machine instructions, things like that. Oh, by the way, my back massager just turned off, just automatically, just in case I fall asleep, so it doesn't just, chap me or burn me. Or, it never gets that warm, but it is really nice. Okay. So, but flowcharts, anyway, I'm just trying to say flowcharts, unless you're really low level, right? Okay, here's a key idea. And it relates to flowcharts. Diagrams need to be at a higher level of abstraction than the method that you use, the methodology or the mechanism that you use to actually encode it, okay? In other words, when you're writing an assembly language or machine language or, down in low-level hardware, flowcharts and schematics are a higher level representation than the actual encoding, So you show me a bunch of assembly language or a bunch of machine language. This is machine language right here. You show me a bunch of machine instructions. I'm like, oh, it's hard to conceptualize what's going on. Now you show me the flowchart that matches it, and you're like, oh, I get it. But you show me some Python or some Java or some high-level programming language. I don't need a flowchart that tells me that there's a decision branch right here. I got it. It's an if-then-else, or it's a while loop or whatever, for loop. I got it. So I don't need that. So all the diagrams that have meaning to us have a higher level of embodying information. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And so activity diagrams are an example of that. Now, this is the really important key. You've got to get this. This is not the flow chart of some code, okay? This is not the flow chart of code to say, if this, then that, and that this represents 50 lines of code. That would be an absolute, utter, bloody waste of time, okay? Instead, we have the notion of what is the process at a high level. What's the process at a high level? So when we receive an order, right, we have that initial, what do we call it? Initial node. And we have this receiving of an order. And then the first thing, that fork, what that does is basically just kind of says, two concurrent things are going to start happening now at the same time, okay? I'm going to, on the one hand, I'm going to send the invoice, which is an action. I've got this flow. So I'm looking over here because it's just a bigger picture for me. You see what I'm looking, there's my big screen, and it's just a little easier for me to see. Right? But I can do, essentially, on the one hand, I'm going to send an invoice, receive payment, right? And then rejoin later. On the other side, I'm going to fill the order and do the things that are involved in filling the order. And you know what? And so we got a minute. We got 2 minutes. So the fork becomes, so that guy's the fork. That's the action. So all of these are actions, things we're going to do. That's just a flow or an edge. That's a join where it comes back together. Over here, we have kind of a condition, is it a priority order? Then we do overnight delivery. If it's not, we do regular delivery. Okay. And then, so there's this decision. So yes, that is like a flowchart decision, like an if statement. Okay. So Steve, if you have a flowchart that literally represents the flow of your code, I say yes, your program code. If it's a high-level language, if it's Java, Python, C++, C#, anything of that sort, I think it is better to just write the code. The code is already readable. You know how to read that code. And especially where you already should be indenting, or in languages like Python where the indentation is the structural, you can tell the block because it is, indented. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, and then there's this kind of a split and then a merge back, right? This is obviously super rudimentary, right? You can see that it's really rudimentary. Like, for example, you send the invoice. What if they never get it? That's not here. What if they don't send their payment? Not here. What if you don't receive the payment? Not here. You see what I mean? There's a bunch of stuff that's not there. Okay. But you get the basic idea of, if you were going to try to diagram out, how to make your drive-through more efficient now that everyone's coming through the drive-through, right? If you wanted to do like discrete event modeling, discrete event simulation, this is the kind of thing that you're modeling when you do discrete event simulation, and the big, a lot of big companies, Amazon, folks with big warehouses. There's a reason Amazon, prior to the crush, could get you, you order Stephen King's The Stand, and 2 days later it's sitting on your porch. Well, that's because they understand these activity diagrams relative to the behavior of the warehouse. Okay, so there's a bunch more stuff on these activity diagrams. We're out of time right now today. I hope this has been fun. It's been fun for me. I'm grateful to be able to remember to get my back massager. Oh, one other thing, by the way, I'm big, I'm old, and one of the things, there's that spot in your back you can't quite reach to scratch, why they make a back scratcher, because nature did not provide you, but we're tool users, right? But check it out. I'm gonna go turn the thing on. Boom, I'm going. In other words, being old and arthritic, this button, you see it going? That button is so convenient that even in the worst position behind my back, I can just kind of reach down, just like I'm scratching my hip, boink, and turn it on behind me. Everything about this product is right. Everything about that product is freaking genius. Okay, cool. We are back on. So you've got your in-class assignment. There should have been stuff due Sunday. I still need to grade. I'm going to do that now. I have overdue things to grade. I'm going to grade those now. Like literally right now, and everybody already gets 100 because I made the deal with you. And I'm just going to make sure that the one for this coming Sunday, there's going to be another Goff pattern, every week. Every time, you guys, the assignment for Goff is always going to be pretty much the same. You know what the chapter is. There's parts where you need to write the code, do the thing, run the test. That's really what it's going to be about. If I don't handhold you, do that. So, I'm yeah, Delia, I am bragging. I am bragging because don't be jealous. Don't be jealous of my Shiatsu back massager. No, be very jealous of my Shiatsu back massager. Okay. All right, everybody. Take care. Be safe. Do the stuff. You had any problem? Last thing. I'm really not obsessing about deadlines in light of everything, but for your own benefit, stay on task. Do the thing every Sunday night. Get that thing done every Sunday night. You know what I mean? Stay on task for your own benefit. Okay. And then Jack, hang tight. I'm going to post the Discord channel right here. And let me see. Yeah. And we are kind of posting this to the world. But if we start to get like strange visitors, then I'll go on YouTube and I'll blur this, and then we'll just block anybody. You know what I mean? Who wants to come on and make pain in our Discord channel. So, okay, everybody, that's good. Stay on task with the Goff stuff. Okay, we're out of time. Stay safe, and let me know if you got any issues or struggles or whatever.